Welcome to the channel. My name is Matthias. Today we're going to talk about the end of Christopher Yost's run on the New Warriors. So we're going to cover New Warriors issues 9 through 12. The first issue is going to be a standalone story, sort of a filler issue that's going to revolve around Scarlet Spider-Man, while the last three are going to close off this series with the final confrontation between the New Warriors and the High Evolutionary and the Evolutionaries. And we're going to have a pretty surprising discovery on who is the one behind the push of the High Evolutionary in trying to purify humanity. So the first issue, we have Scarlet Spider-Man. He's back in Houston. This is the city where most of his own series took place, and it was also written by Christopher Yost. It seems that he really doesn't want to be there in the first place, but the thing is that the New Warriors did not want to take him back to Mexico yet because Justice wants to convince him to stay on the team. And what happens is we have this giant mascot bear who starts attacking the city. It's pretty ridiculous, but both of our heroes spring into action to try to stop it. I think the bear's name is Choke, and he's actually attacking the city because he thinks Scarlet Spider-Man was a villain. Like, everyone in Houston for some reason thought he was a bad guy. And Choke the bear wants to defend his villain turf. Now, what we see through flashbacks is that Choke gets his powers through weird space energy. It's never really explained where it comes from. And I also have to mention that in the issue prior to this one, we had three characters that came from space that seemed to be like real bad news. But since the series ends after the next story arc, we never get to see what happens to those guys. The thing is that after our heroes defeat Choke the Bear, in a way, Justice wins over Scarlet Spider-Man and he decides to stay on the team. Now, for the second story, we have the New Warriors taking the battle to High Evolutionary. They were hunting him down. Now we get the final confrontation. So we have the Warriors fighting against the High Evolutionary and the Evolutionaries. So in the next three issues, we're going to get non-stop action to the point that it sort of gets boring and repetitive. Because outside of a big reveal that we're going to talk about now, there's not much story here, or even character development. And the New Warriors sort of do a favor to the High Evolutionary. Since Herbert / the High Evolutionary needed the New Warriors to activate his genocide machine, the Warriors saved him the time to have to hunt them down. So what happens is Hummingbird is able to peek into the High Evolutionary's mind and discovers that he wants to purge humanity because he's afraid that the Celestials will arrive and will judge humanity unfavorably. So what happens is, even though the New Warriors are able to defeat the High Evolutionary, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we discover who was behind this plot of purifying humanity, and it's actually Zurus of the Eternals. And he's actually there with a group of Eternals. So I have no idea why Zurus is hellbent on purging humanity. Now, Zurus, even though technically he's not a Sky Father like Odin or Zeus, he sort of always acts like one, and he's probably the most douchey of the bunch. I'm not sure if his motivations are established in a previous story arc, because I know that the Eternals had popped up in the X-Men series, where we got the first appearance of the Evolutionaries. Because what I remember from the last Eternal series that was prior to this, they were in a very different place, and I wouldn't see them wanting to purge humanity. Because where the Eternals were at the end of their last series that had ended a couple years prior to this, they were in a very different place. And another thing is that Makari had ascended to be a very important figure within Eternal Society. He had become the avatar for the Dreaming Celestial, but that aside, with this group of Eternals that are going to confront the New Warriors, we do not have present Icarus or Athena. I do not know where they would be at this moment in Marvel history. So we get this raging battle between the New Warriors and the Eternals, and they're being extremely overpowered. So the new warriors who were defeated were being put back into the High Evolutionary's machine. Justice is missing still. He had ended up in battle with Makari, and their fight just went farther and farther away, to the point that when he went back to where everything went down, he sort of went into outer space to go faster. And it seems that there he realized that the Celestials are not coming. It's a very lazy way to end the story, because what happens is he bursts back onto the scene and he just tells everyone, look, the Celestials are not coming. Zurus is lying. And basically everything finishes there. It's so abrupt and so poorly written. And it's a shame, because I was having a blast with this run in general. And Zurus never explains himself, because he does tell everyone, look, yeah, I was sort of bullshitting everyone over that situation with the Celestials. I did go back and check, and he does drop one line where he mentions that any deviation from normal humanity might be a sign of a deviant gene, therefore it must be all purged. But the thing is that he was okay with superpowered people all this time, up until this moment, till he totally flips out. And then the Eternals just teleport away. It's extremely abrupt, and that's the end of the series. So we're going to end this video here. I hope you guys liked it. See you guys next time. Bye.